Alright guys, so today I have this incredible trick to show you all, and this is what it looks like. So this is a completely impromptu trick that uses a borrowed and shuffled deck of cards. So once the cards have been mixed, we'll have the spectator go ahead and touch any card in the center. Let's say this one over here, so I hope that you guys can see it. We'll leave the card out jogged in the center and push it in. You can see it up until the very last moment like this. And then we'll go ahead and shuffle the cards. We can also have the spectator mix the cards if they'd like. It truly does not matter. So this trick is all about intuition, and I'm going to try to have you guess where your card is. I'll give you 3 chances to do this, okay? So any 3 cards that you think might be yours, I'd like you to take those cards and place them in my hand. But really, really try to feel for where it is. Don't just do it randomly, okay? So really try to feel for it. Okay, so these 3 cards, they can obviously exchange the cards out for any other cards if they want, completely free choice, but I actually like you to pick up these cards and to start shuffling them in your hand like this. But do it so it's like behind your back so that neither you or I can see the cards, because I don't want you to feel like I'm looking at anything, and I also don't want you to see the order of the cards or anything like that, or the identity of the cards. I want you to do this completely by feel, okay? So at any point, truly free choice, I just want you to take a card on impulse and drop it on the table like this, okay? Completely free choice. It truly does not matter which one they choose right here, but this is the card that they decided to take out. Look, if you had given me this card, it would have been the King of Hearts. Was that your card? No. If you had given me this card, would this have been your card? Nine of Spades? No. In fact, if you had given me any of these other cards here, would any of these cards have been your card? I don't think so, because you just felt on impulse that this was the right decision. And hopefully it was the 2 of Spades. And that right there is the trick. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you did, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. All right, guys, so here's the tutorial for the trick that you just saw. So I really hope you enjoyed that performance. I think this is one of my new favorite methods for having the spectator sort of eliminate down to their own card. And truly, everything is a free choice. Everything is in their own hands. And yet the trick really does look this awesome and amazing. So how is this possible? How is this done? It truly uses any deck of cards. You don't need to prepare anything for this trick. And the first thing you're going to want to do is just have the spectator choose a selection. I like to use a spread call control, so I will line up 2 cards as a double. Whatever card they touch, I'll line up the card above it like this, so that now when I'm showing them the card, let's say the Queen of Diamonds, I'm actually holding a double together like this, so that now when I lower my hands down, I will cull the card underneath, leaving the other card out jogged. This will appear to be the same card as the selection, but the culled card is actually the selection underneath the spread. And this will be guided all the way to the bottom of the deck, which is exactly where you need it to be. So once the card is on the bottom, the card can be pushed in the middle like this, and then you can shuffle the cards, just retain that bottom card on the bottom. You can have the spectator shuffle the cards. If they insist on shuffling, you can easily just cop the card out like this, and then hand the deck to them so that now they can shuffle the cards and their card will be out of the deck. And at any point, you just take the cards back, replace it on the bottom of the deck, and you're ready to go. So all you need to do now is, before you spread the cards on the table, you simply just need to peek this card. And I do this by rotating the deck like this. You can do this as you shuffle the cards. So do a riffle shuffle by retaining the bottom card, do the bridge, square up, and now as you're squaring up the cards, just very naturally, gonna square up the cards and then rotate the cards, and now I just very naturally peek that Queen of Diamonds. So once I know the identity of their card, that's really all I need to know for the rest of this trick. So now I will spread the cards on the table like this and have the spectator choose any 3 cards to place in my hand. So it's truly a free choice what cards they choose. So let's say this one, and this one, and all I'm gonna do is catch a pinky break on the bottom card like this, and I'm going to do this as I ask them if they want to exchange any of them, and they can totally exchange any of these because these are just random cards, so if they want to change it, it's fine. But I'm going to get a pinky break on the bottom card and then transfer this to a thumb break. What I'm going to do is hover the 3 cards over the top of the deck like this, and I'm going to square up the cards, and right as I square up the cards, I'm going to just simply take the thumb break and drop that card on top of the deck. But I'm just going to make sure it's lined up as neatly as possible so that it is not noticeable when I square up the cards like this. And then I will take 2 cards now and place them on the table. Just make sure to not spread them apart. So then once the deck is squared up, I'm now going to get another pinky break on the bottom card and transfer this to a thumb break as well, like this. And once I do this, I'm actually going to use the deck to scoop up the cards from the table, and I'm simply going to drop this off on top of these 2 cards as I place them in my hand. So I'll simply sort of scoop these up like this, going to place these in my hand, and then I'm going to let go of the thumb break as I place the deck on the table. And you do this whole motion as you ask the spectator to shuffle the cards in their hand. So at full speed, it would look something like this. So I'd like you to take these cards here and just shuffle them like this in your hand. The spectator's listening to your instructions. It truly doesn't look like anything has happened, but what you've just done is you've secretly loaded their selection in these 3 cards. You just don't know which one it will be. And you also will be giving these cards to the spectator so that they can shuffle the cards, and they'll take them behind their back so that neither you or the spectator can see the cards. So here comes my favorite part of the trick, which is the ending. So their card truly is in these 3 cards, and they truly have a free choice to take any card and place it on the table. So they're going to take it, place on the table. At this point, neither you or the spectator knows what card has been placed down, but what you're going to do is simply just pick up the card and look at it. You're going to say, are you sure? This one right here? That's kind of the line that I say as I'm looking at the card. And then when I'm looking at the card, I will decide what to do next. So if this is the card that I peeked, if this is the spectator selection, then the trick is over at this point. The trick is over. I say, look, you just took 3 cards, you shuffled them behind your back, then you just took a random one and took it out. Look, if you had given me the other 2, it would have been these, and these were not your card at all, right? But you gave me this one because you just had a feeling that this was your card, the Queen of Diamonds, and that is the end of the trick. So obviously that's just one outcome. The other possible outcome is if they're shuffling and then they take a random card, place it down, and then you look at it and this is not the spectator selection. What I would do is say, so are you sure of this one right here? So we're just gonna keep narrowing down the cards until we're left with 1. And then I can actually freely flip this over and show the spectator that this is not their card because I am justifying the action of them eliminating this card by saying we're gonna narrow down to 1 card. So now you can take this card and just toss it, get rid of it, and now the spectator has 2 cards left, and essentially the exact same thing is going to happen here, but there is an extra line of dialogue that will make this even more convincing. Truly free choice to place one of these in your hand. You're going to first run through everything that happened and just kind of recap how random and chaotic everything was, and then you really want to recap that everything was their decision. So this is the line of dialogue that I like to use. I say, remember, every single decision up to this point has been made by you, up until the final. And now what I do is I look at the card and I will either say the final choice or the final elimination. And I will literally make this up on the spot. The exact second that I see what this card is, I will choose which route to take. And if you wait until you say the word final and then look at the card and then say the next word, it looks completely natural. It looks like you were planning to say that before you even looked at the card. Now, obviously you have to practice this. You have to be fluid. You don't want to have a pause like up until the final elimination. You don't want to do that because that obviously seems like you're making it up on the spot. So you want to be very fluid. You want to be confident as well. That's very, very important that you're very confident with how you're speaking. You don't want it to seem like you're improvising, even though that's exactly what you're doing. So if this is the elimination, I will say up until the final elimination. And think about it. You could have handed me the other card, but you handed me this card, which is not your card, obviously, but you are left with 1 single card because you just had a feeling that you wanted to keep this card in particular, which is none other than your card. So that's how I would end that version of the trick. Now remember, their card in my hand. So at this point, I would say every single decision up until this point has been made by you up until the final choice. And think about it. You could have given me this card, and would that have been your card? No. But you decided to give me this card right here because you just had a gut feeling that this was the right choice. And you made the right choice, and that is your card. So that's how I would do that outcome of the trick. So as you can see, it truly does not matter what the spectator decides. The scripting in this trick is really the thing that is determining the outcome and the routes of the trick that you are taking. And that's what I love so much about this trick, because it truly feels like there's no way that you could predict or know the outcome of anything that's about to happen, because the spectator is truly given a free choice to choose any of these 3 cards in the beginning and then to choose another out of these 2. It just feels so impossible and so random. So yeah, that is the trick, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Just be sure to practice it because it does take some practice. But once you're confident with it, please go ahead and try it out. Let me know how it works. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.